Alright, so this has been a request that I've been getting from a handful of people, and it's interesting. I planned on recording this video a few days ago, and sure enough, Mad Genius and Jay did this topic on the podcast. Great minds think alike, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my top 10 wrestlers in TNA and WWE. Strip their affiliation with each company, and I'm just going to give you the top 10 between the two companies in my mind, in my book. And I'm not, if I threw the part-time talent in there like a Rock, if I threw the Rock in there, he'd obviously make the list, if not the top of the list. But it encompasses everything. The in-ring ability, the innovation, the crispness of their matches, their ability to raise their performance on pay-per-views, mic work / persona. Now, a guy may not be strong on the mic, but he has a strong persona. A guy may not have a overly strong persona, but he may be strong on the mic. It's basically everything rolled into one. Some guys with different attributes that make up for, having less ability in other attributes. You know what I'm saying? So it's all lumped together in an entertainment value type list, from my standpoint. So number 10, I had a hard time with this one. This is the only one where I had a tie. I decided I'm going to go with Kazarian and Cesaro, Antonio Cesaro, as a tie for my number 10. I can't put one guy over the other, and I can't keep either guy off the list. Antonio Cesaro has a ton of talent. He's a good heel on the mic. He's definitely a blossoming character on the WWE roster, and one of the long-time proven top-notch workers in the ring. And the guy's mic work has really he's stepped his game up as a heel on the mic in TNA. Is Kazarian. So to me, you get equal value from both guys, so I put them at number 10. Number 9, a guy that I think's been mishandled, deserves more of a push than he's gotten. He's got the in-ring ability, he's got the presence on the camera, he's got the lineage and history in his family. The dude is like basically the total package. And for instance, Del Rio's role that he's had in all these semi-main events on these pay-per-views, I think that it should have been Cody Rhodes in some of those spots. And I do like the tag team of Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow, don't get me wrong. That's one of the very few entertaining aspects to Raw for me. But he's my number 9. At number 8, one of the old faithful guys. I've got Jeff Hardy at 8. Still brings it in the ring, raises his performance on the pay-per-views, as you just saw at Bound for Glory when they gave him the TNA Heavyweight Championship. I don't like the fact that he's using that stupid custom belt, but whatever. And what he lacks on the mic, he makes up for with his character, with the gimmicks he wears, the face paint, all that stuff. So I've got Jeff Hardy at 8. At number 7, one of the best, if not the best in the world at selling, okay? And he's done a lot of jobs, so he's had many chances to prove it. I've got Dolph Ziggler. Just a crisp in-ring worker. As far as his offensive repertoire, not the greatest, you know what I mean? He still needs to refine his moves from an offensive standpoint, and I think that if Dolph Ziggler would have a little bit more of a serious character, instead of like a Mr. Ass, Mr. Perfect ripoff. I don't know if he has that in him. I think he'd be even better, though. To me, I don't know if he takes himself completely seriously, or what people are telling him to do, the agents and the bookers, but he's got more potential to be tapped into that he hasn't tapped into yet. But I think most of us see the raw talent of a Dolph Ziggler. And that is why I've got Dolph Ziggler at my number 7. Number 6, I went with Daniel Bryan. Obviously, the guy, in the past, we've seen some of his great matches. We know what he can do. He's got the comedy act going on the mic. That's becoming pretty repetitive, but that's out of his control for the most part. I'm just not feeling the Daniel Bryan thing as much as I used to. And, of course, he uses a lot of the submission holds and whatnot, and they have him kind of play the role of the chicken. So I'm trying to look past his current gimmick, and I know how talented he is. If I were just grading it on the current gimmick, he'd be lower. But I'm grading Daniel Bryan on a curve, and I've got him at number 6. Number 5, man, Kurt Angle. I have to put Kurt Angle at number 5. His persona is still fantastic. If you look at a lot of his pay-per-view matches, the chances he takes, the moves he pulls off that guys half his age don't even try. He's a believable gimmick. You know what I mean? And he still sells very, very good. The whole persona that is Kurt Angle, I still believe he's a top 5 wrestler in the world, especially by today's landscape. And what I'm saying with this list is, I would rather watch Kurt Angle than Daniel Bryan. I would have rather watched Daniel Bryan than Dolph Ziggler. I'd rather watch Dolph Ziggler than Jeff Hardy. I'd rather watch Jeff Hardy than Cody Rhodes. I'd rather watch Cody Rhodes than Kazarian and Antonio Cesaro. Grading on a curve. Like if these guys were able to just go out there and show their best stuff, this is the way, this is the order of which I would want to see the guys wrestle. Number 4, best all-around heel in the business, Bobby Roode. When you look at the guy, he's a throwback wrestler, man. He has that presence about him. You know what I mean? He knows how to sell. His offensive repertoire is nice. But it's the entire package with Bobby Roode, the entire persona. The guy just exudes old school. He exudes the hard-ass type wrestling character. I mean, of course, as a heel, they've had him do a lot of the chicken heel stuff. I'm not talking about storyline stuff. I'm just talking about his presence. And if you disagree with me, you disagree with The Rock, because The Rock actually put a tweet out there a few months ago endorsing Bobby Roode. I just think the guy is one of those transcendent talents. And we were having a debate one night. A lot of the guys said that Bobby Roode reminded them of Triple H going into this match with James Storm at Bound for Glory. And I said, I actually think Bobby Roode's better than Triple H was. That's just my take. So I've got Bobby Roode at number 4. At number 3, CM Punk. His skill set that he uses in the WWE, they've watered him down quite a bit. Some of his moves, like the running knee lift in the corner or the GTS. You see daylight. You see too much daylight between his knee and the quote-unquote opponent. So that kind of kills the believability factor of his skill set. Still goes out there and performs at a high level. He's done a fantastic job with his role as a heel, which I still strongly disagree with. I think he should have become the face of the company. If you look at the reaction to his DVD that they released, people absolutely love it. They can identify with his story. Can you imagine how much his popularity would have grown even more by now if they kept him as a babyface? So I think, in part, WWE has kind of done a disservice to him. But compared to the 2 guys I have over him, I just don't think he's as good as these guys anymore. Now, you may have been able to make a case in the past, but I don't think you can today. At number 2, Austin Aries. I mean, this guy's not even that big, man. He's really refined his skills on the mic, his persona. He just exudes belief in his character. And when you look at the way the guy wrestles, I mean, he is crisp, he sells, he bumps. His offensive repertoire is fun to watch. You're never going to totally suspend your disbelief, as far as the acting with pro wrestling. but he brings a believability factor. And I mean, look at some of the guys he's given that brainbuster to. Some of these monsters. Just a crisp, innovative, very extremely entertaining in-ring worker. And that's why I have him over CM Punk. I would rather watch Austin Aries than CM Punk. And then at number 1, a guy who I think's been mishandled in 2012. But what I want you guys to look up, there's a video of this guy, of his top 25 moves. And these are all taken from like indie house shows. But I want you to look up AJ Styles' top 25 moves. And you get to see this sort of stuff in almost all of his matches, except for the one with Hernandez before the pay-per-view, which was a joke. But he constantly goes on there, and no matter who's in the ring with AJ Styles, like if you look at the triple threat tag team match from Bound for Glory, he shined more than anyone. And you had 5 other really strong workers in that match. And I do believe that eventually they're going to put AJ Styles back at the top of their cards. It's not about where his character is being written right now. It's about how good he is. And I just don't think, I mean, he doesn't have the strongest mic work, but he's got the persona. You know what I'm saying? He's got like the perfect babyface persona. He's got the swagger with the ring walk and stuff he does in the ring and whatnot. And the guy is just an amazing worker. And then you add in his athleticism. When you look at the athleticism of Austin Aries and AJ Styles, they are the best in the business when it pertains to applied athleticism in the framework of pro wrestling. So that's my top 10. Go through them one more time. Number 10, a tie between Kazarian and Antonio Cesaro. Number 9, Cody Rhodes. Number 8, Jeff Hardy. Number 7, Dolph Ziggler. Number 6, Daniel Bryan. Number 5, Kurt Angle. Number 4, Bobby Roode. Number 3, CM Punk. Number 2, Austin Aries. And number 1, AJ Styles. Now, people who want to leave comments under this video, I supply you with one last caveat from my list. I haven't missed a TNA or a WWE pay-per-view in 2 years. I watch every Raw and I watch every Impact. So this comes from the standpoint of someone who watches all of their shows, these guys. So that's my top 10, and it comes from a place of certainly from someone who's actually watching each company. I'm not some... I know a lot of WWE marks who won't want to give their input on this when they know damn well they're not even really watching TNA. So, alright, that's my top 10 list. Take it or leave it, I guess. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Bruce Blitz. You can also check out my website, blitzsportsnetwork.com. You can listen to the podcast, the Blitz Hardcore Podcast, blogtalkradio.com/Blitz Hardcore Podcast. And you can also find me on Xbox. Yes, Xbox Live. I'm a man of the people. Just search for Bruce Blitz on Xbox. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button.